Sounds good.
Okay. Share the screen. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, just let me check the sound a little bit.
Okay, more importantly, though, can you see the screen, though? That's the important part.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I see you. I see your screen.
Okay. Hold on a second, I'm gonna see, hold my door with By the way, will I be able to see people or no?
I was actually. Let me see. Oh. There you go.
Okay. Hold on one second.
How's everyone doing?
Good.
It's our first time, so we'll see how it goes. He's up in Silicon Valley, or actually no, their company is up in Silicon Valley. I believe he's at Minnesota right now. Yeah, I think there's. Yeah, I think there was. He was saying something about there's some Microsoft robot event up there, but I'm not sure what that was about. Okay, so basically what's gonna happen is Davidu is gonna be presenter and he'll be going over about their robotics company, Fellow Robots. It was really interesting robots and they are actually in market right now. So it's probably good to hear. And we are gonna have another person join from Silicon Valley, and he's gonna show us the robot at the store, I think. So I'm looking forward to it.
A real store or a model store?
I think it's a real store. I'm not sure though. Maybe it's gonna be the store or probably robot from their office. But he said just store, so I was assuming it's gonna be a real store.
Okay, can you guys, wait, can you guys see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay, hold on, lagged out a lot just for a second. Oh, there we go. Hey! Okay, I can see you guys as well. Good to have you all here. I met Hansel at an event up in Silicon Valley months back, so. Is that working or am I getting echo?
Yeah, the sound is not the best right now. So
Okay, hold on. Let me turn my video up.
let me try this.
Okay, you ready?
Okay, this is sweet.
Is it the first time you guys have done this virtually?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. This should be interesting.
Sound okay, everyone?
Yeah.
Okay, can you still see the presentation?
Yeah.
All right, great. Okay, so if you can still hear me, I'll get started then. My name is Sabadu. I work for Fellow Robots. I'm the CIO there, and I wrote most of the software. We're a small company, and we're at 13 people right now. About a year ago, we were only 3 people, so we've come a long way, and we've got some stuff in store. So I'll get into it and show how we're doing things. So what we do is we make robots for retail stores, and let me advance this. So when we look at the retail market, basically some of the things that there is, customers want to find things instantly. Retailers don't have the valuable data and they don't have good inventory information. So online websites are really advanced. You have a lot of you search something on Amazon, it will stalk you for weeks in your email. But offline, the retailers don't really have anything, and the robot essentially becomes a technology beachhead for them in the store, and this is the kind of things that we're trying to solve. So in the retail industry, not much has changed in the last 20, 30 years. It's the same model from decades ago. Yeah, the customer support is it has a little room for improvement, and there's a lot more things that can be automated. It keeps switching. The retail market, it's about it's really big. Everyone keeps thinking that the online is going to kill the offline world, but it's kind of plateauing out, and all the forecasts tend to say that um, it essentially will hit about 10%, and maybe over the next few years it'll go a couple more percent. But a lot of the retail market tends to stay in the offline world, and so it's a huge market worldwide, and that's where we see opportunity. Robots have been around for a while, at least 40 years, and they've been in various states. It started off in labs, and there was a lot of funding and stuff from DARPA and all that kind of stuff. You have a lot of robots in the industry, and from there to medical and defense robots, and now we're starting to see a lot more of the service robotics industry, and just service robots alone, ignoring everything else, is going to be $1 billion in a very short amount of time. So what we did was we made Oshbot, and this is what we see as the future of retail. Basically, it's a robot with a 3D scanner, can navigate around the store autonomously, and it talks to customers. Basically, you walk into a store, robot's standing there greeting you. You can say, "I'm looking for hammers," and the robot will take you to where the hammers are in the store. And that's what we made. It getting into more of the technical side of it. It runs on ROS. That is the platform that we have used in, and that's kind of one of the key things that have enabled us and a few of the other robotics companies to merge. The robotics industry is kind of at a pivoting point. It's a bit like the computing industry in the 80s. In the 80s, the semiconductor prices dropped a lot, and software stopped reinventing itself. And the same sort of thing is happening right now. Robotics, where everybody's working in individual labs for many, many years, and working on things individually and keeping on reinventing the wheel, has stopped because of ROS on the software side, and the other part is the sensor brain. So we're using LiDAR technology, which is the same stuff that's in the Google self-driving car. If you see right under where those LEDs are at the top and also down the bottom, those slits, those are where LiDARs fit, and they basically give you a 270-degree view of the surrounding environment in 2D. So it means, for example, from the bottom LiDAR, I can see your shins, but I can't see your feet. So what we do is we take your shins and we blow it up 30 centimeters at the inflation radius around everybody, and that way we won't run over your feet. It uses these lidars also to localize. So we can see all the aisles in the store, and also the rooms and offices and all that kind of stuff. We can see where the walls are, and we can use that to figure out the robot's position once it has a good estimate to begin with, and it keeps track of that over time. So we can show the robot later when I bring my coworker online. I'm actually traveling right now for a conference, so that's why I'm right next to the robot. But when I'm in right after this presentation, and you guys can see what's running on the robot. So what some of the robot's features, basically it's fully autonomous. It'll drive. You talk to the robot, and UI will then they can pick a product on screen, and UI will then tell the system to go to a specific location in the store. It'll navigate there by itself, and then it'll avoid obstacles. If if someone like runs in its way, they get a kid walks in front of it, then the robot will stop and it'll either path around it or it'll say that it can't. There's no other way to go and say that it's stuck. One of the things we're adding right now is to politely say excuse me or say that I'm being a little crowded to be able to get past. And generally, most humans are tend to oblige if we do it correctly, but we need to do that, figure out the right way to say all of that stuff. So that's some of the things that we learn about in the store. It speaks multiple languages. You can speak in both right now in English and Spanish, but as needed, we'll be adding other languages to the robot. And English is the main one, and we have half of it translated into Spanish. It's not as strong as the English search uh, as in Spanish, but it does enough to work. And one of my co-founders is actually um, it's from Mexico, so he uses it in Spanish and demos that all the time. One of the features that we'll be able to do in the future is actually it's something we can do right now, but the logistics there is that a lot of stores have experts. Like a hardware store might have a paint guy, but there's only one per store, or a grocery store might have a wine expert. But the guy in your store, since usually only one of them might be busy, on the other hand, Lowe's and many other retailers have thousands of stores around the country, and so while the guy in your store may be busy, a guy in a different store could be free, and the vision is that they'll be able to connect through their phones to onto the robot. You can video call essentially a specialist in a different store who will be able to guide you through it. Because while it might be 12 o'clock on the west coast and it's busy at 3 o'clock on the east coast, and no one's in the store. So it's one of those upcoming things that we like to get out, but there's a lot more logistics store wise to before that happens. On the back of the thing, you can see in the bottom picture, it's actually advertising. So while the robot's taking to your destination, it's going to show you a bunch of ads. And in the future, that'll be contextual. Basically, you can be searching for hammers, and it'll give you this kind of nails on the back. Or when the robot's passing through the paint section, it can show you paint ads. The robot also will be doing inventory management. And this is kind of a new thing that we were working on a lot this past couple of weeks. And where that comes in is we basically add a bunch of cameras onto the back of the robot and go and scan all the aisles as we went past. By scan, I mean actually take images of the aisles and use computer vision algorithms to pick up when products are out of stock. Like for example, if there's like a lot of gap in the shelf, that means that something's out of stock, and we can alert the store managers that they need to go restock this section. So that's one of those new things that we've been working on, and that's what this knife is about. So I'll skip past that. We've been in the store since December, and the robot's gone through several phases. Initially, we had the robot was in the child stage. The first 2 months or so, we were always with the robot and making sure we weren't controlling it, but we'd be there making sure it behaved well, nothing was going wrong, and people knew how to use it. And then it went to the teenager phase where we watched over the road from the back room with the cameras and everything, kind of like a big bunny in a way. And then what it's about to go to now is to go into the adult stage where the robot runs full time when we're not in the store. So cutting the cord, kind of in a way. So the robot's growing up, and it's been a kind of an interesting journey. We've had a lot of people use the robot for many things and for searches and all sorts of things like that. We get about 5 to 10 people per hour using the robot. Some of the interesting stories that we've had is that, for example, the other day, like a couple of weeks ago, there was this really grumpy old guy who he came to he wanted to buy a toilet seat cover, and he was told that he'd have to replace his whole toilet because his toilet's too old and they don't make covers for that anymore. So he was in a bad mood, and the robot happened to be in his way. So instead of waiting for the robot to move, he decided to ram it with his car. He actually managed to crack the cover of the robot and stuff. So anything can happen in the retail world. It's kind of crazy. And what we often find is like kids and everybody else really like using the robot, and sometimes the robot ends up becoming a babysitter for the kids. The first time the parents are using with them, and then you slowly see the parents disappear. And the kids are wandering around the store with this robot while the parents are doing shopping. It's been kind of interesting. All the funny things that work out. Okay, I'm going to show you a little video so that you guys can see what the robot does. Let me see if I can switch this. Alright. Can you guys see that?
No.
Nope? Okay, hold on. Let me say something else. Are you seeing a copy of yourself or no? Is there a video on screen now?
Yep.
Okay.
No sound. No sound.
Is that working? Or
Actually, if you can crank up the sound.
crank up the sound? Okay. Oh no. Does that work? Was that what's working just now or no?
It came and went. Yeah.
It's really quiet.
So we can see but not hear. Maybe if you send us the URL, that might work.
Yeah, maybe I'll send you the link and then you guys can watch it directly. Let me try that. Hold on. Let's fire up that.
Sounds turned off.
Yep.
You're on YouTube.
Yeah. Let's see.
My name is Kyle Nell, and I'm the Executive Director of the Lowe's Innovation Labs. Lowe's Innovation Labs is here to build new technologies to solve consumer problems with uncommon partners. We focus on making science fiction a reality. Retail really hasn't changed much in the last couple hundred years, but robots are the first thing that can really change the customer experience.
Hello, I am Washbot, the Orchard Store robot helper. What are you looking for today?
The robot will come up to you and will say, "Hi, what can I help you with?" Where can I find more of these?
I'm looking for hammers.
Me gustaría comprar esto. Can you place the object in my viewfinder? Is this the item you are looking for?
Yes.
I'll take you.
Once you show the robot the item, it will then navigate you to where that item can be found.
The robot has multiple sensors and is able to navigate inside of the store, which creates a map overnight. So the next day in the morning, the robot knows where the products are located.
I'll take you to the plum 16-ounce flat contoured handle hammer.
One of my favorite parts of the robot is its ability to speak multiple languages.
Seguro, pero tú me gustaría.
¿Puedo hablar con un experto en plomería?
Claro, te pongo en contacto.
It allows you to connect remotely with another store associate in a different location.
Hola, soy Sara. ¿Cómo le puedo ayudar hoy? SU Labs and the Lowe's Innovation Lab are working together to experiment with exponentially accelerating technologies to really rethink how retail is done.
Lowe's is one of those amazing organizations on the planet. They have an executive team that really thinks about how to deploy new technologies in very courageous new ways.
3D scanning, autonomous navigation, natural language processing, collision avoidance, all of these things come together to make the robot a wholly different experience than anything in retail right now.
I think it's a tool for our associates that really delivers on our promise of being an 80-year-old startup.
De hecho, creo que un día con los robots.
I actually really liked it, and we could be considered friends. The world and the future of the world, everything is tech.
I think we're exactly in robotics we're competing with 30 years ago. We see every day vacuum cleaners, robots helping manufacturing cars. This is going to start growing exponentially.
The Oshbot is going to go live in an Orchard Supply hardware store in San Jose.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna bring in my coworker, and then you guys can see the robot live. Hold on 1 second. So,
Hey, can you hear me?
yeah.
Okay. Did you video call me?
Yes. You have the video call back? Oh no.
Or no video.
I guess from phone it doesn't do video call. That's interesting.
Okay, can you try with your laptop?
My laptop's webcam is broken.
Oh. Okay, hold on. Give me a second. Is it letting you do the video now or no?
No, but hey, let me call you. Let me just call you real quick.
1 second. Hold on 1 second, guys.
All right. I think this is really interesting, especially to me because I saw this group probably like 8 years ago at this startup event, and it was like in their prototype stage, and they were initially doing not this type of robot, but more on conference call robots. So that basically their idea was replacing those like Skype or whatever, so that you can just send your robot and then you can do conference call. And VCs at that event just crushed them, and they say you guys are not gonna make it. And then after a few years, when I saw them, they pivoted, and now they are doing this. So it is really interesting to me.
Hey guys, sorry, he's connecting his the other computer, and it will be up in a second. In the meantime, do you guys have questions that any of you would want to ask?
What's the cost on these robots?
So we don't sell the robots individually. We sell them per store. So it's kind of because there's a lot of integration required when you think about it. Like we have to integrate with the store's inventory and the store's floor plan and all that kind of stuff and map it out. So it's not really a cost per robot, but a cost per store. And the robots themselves are kind of a basic model with them.
And are there multiple robots per store or single robots per store?
Multiple robots per store. We currently have 2 running in the store. And we'll be adding more as time goes by.
Is each robot independent, or is there some sort of server that they all talk to?
So they're independent in the sense that that they can run completely by themselves. The parts where they're connected is that they use the same inventory database. I mean, there's a copy of it locally, but they get an update from the store's server every morning. That's a daily update. And then the other part of it is that the speech recognition is through the cloud. So we don't do the speech recognition on board. We could, but we don't. And where we process that is through a speech partner online.
So it has a wireless port.
Sorry, wireless what?
Does it have a wireless port that all this goes through to some modem
Yes.
somewhere?
Yeah, so we actually we went a bit overkill on the robot. We actually have an entire router on board. So we have a wireless network in the store, and we use a router as a gigantic antenna to all the computers on board are connected. There's actually 4 computers on board in the robot. So the one you see mostly in the video and stuff is the one UI, which is what interacts with the customers, and the one that's running Rust is Linux on the back. The brown one's actually Mint, so we use a bit of everything. We have a couple of Arduinos on there as motor boards, things like that, and a lot of other stuff we develop individually. So
You mentioned that someone ran their cart into one. Did it tip over, or is it bottom heavy? Or I mean, I'm sure that's not going to be the first or the last time that that's going to happen. So
it was actually the first time that somebody attacked the robot intentionally. Being in a retail store, it does get scuffles along the base and stuff like that, and scratches. But it was the first time someone actually attacked it. But the robot, it's pretty hard to tip over. It won't tip over. We use some very large batteries at the base, and they're very heavy, and so they are bottom heavy, and it sits at the bottom, and it means it has a very low center of gravity. The robot itself is kind of around 100 pounds, so it's not necessarily light, and then it lets you. It's pretty stable as far as that goes. It won't tip over. No one can really steal it from the store either. As far as those kind of things, it's pretty good. And battery life, now that we mentioned battery, it can last for about 5 to 7 hours. We use basically motorcycle batteries on board, more or less. I mean, they're slightly different because they need discharge, but we used some pretty heavy duty batteries on the robot. It looks like my coder might be able to connect. Give me 1 second. You might be able to see the robot right now.
We can always have the other robots gang up on this.
Yeah, right. They're networked together.
Escorting to the front door.
The Daleks.
Maybe we should have put an arm on it like the battle bots.
Let me show you this hammer.
It's still connecting. I missed that question someone was talking about.
We were just joking around saying you should put an arm on it.
Oh, I see. Okay. We're not going towards the arm direction for a while. The robot's relatively simpler in that sense, and the arms would be for picking and placing things. Oh, look, okay, I think he's there.
Well, we were thinking more on the lines of self-defense.
Alright. So, what's behind right there is the robot itself.
I know.
I'll have to move around the Lenovo to show the robot properly. So.
Okay. You want to test show the interface first? We can see a good view of that right now.
Okay. Is it clear? Can you see it?
Worse.
Yep, we can see it.
Right.
We can.
So.
We're blind.
Wait, Hansel, can you guys see the screen or no?
No, we can't.
Oh, really?
I can. Those are just hang on 1 second.
No, we can't. We don't see any videos right now.
Oh, at all?
No.
Oh, that's interesting. I can see both of you guys. Alright.
Oh, there you go. Okay, I think we may see it now. Oh, there you go. Yeah, we see you.
See it?
Okay.
So can you see the user interface?
Yes.
Right. So this is the main user interface that the robot has. As it goes up to customers, it can.
A flashback. I can tell you where things are in the store. Can I help you find something?
Were you guys able to hear that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So as it goes up to customers, it can introduce itself and usually it uses face detection to know if there's a person in front of it.
Find things in the store. What are you looking for today?
And then it greets the customers, and then customers usually they have an option of either typing what they're looking for, or they can just search it using voice. So to search it using voice, you can just say, "Hi, I'm looking for hammers. I'm looking for hammers." And then it searches for hammers, and then it lists all the basically the inventory that's in the store. So it lists all the hammers that are currently available at the store. And the user can just like scroll through it and just select the one that they want to select. So they just choose one.
That item appears to be on aisle 19. Would you like me to take you there?
So it's the robot just telling the person where that product is located, and if they choose to, they can hit take me there, and the robot is going to take them to that particular product. I can't hit take me there right now because the robot is actually plugged in, it's being charged. But typically, when you hit take me there, it's gonna drive down to where the product is located. Or you can just hit I'm done, and it goes back to the home screen.
For trying me out.
So that's the fundamental user interface that we use to search for products.
Is there something I can help you find?
Tom, you want to add something?
Yep. So that's the thing, and is it possible to turn the robot around so they can see what the back or maybe move the lid over so that you can to just show them the outside of the robot and everything.
So this is the back screen of the robot. I don't know if you guys actually. Did I lose the video? Hold on one second. So in the back, we have another screen. So as the robot is navigating to a particular place in the store, we have ads displaying in the back, and these ads usually they're updated weekly, and they basically contain promotions that are currently going in the store. So as the user is following the robot, they can look at all the promotions, all the sales that are going in the store, so they can buy that product that you want to. And we actually plan on making this the ads live. So as the robot is navigating around the store, it can show ads that are like depending on where the robot is on the store. Let's say the robot is navigating in the hammer section, and if there's like a promotion in the hammer section, it can display ads pertaining to hammers. So that's sort of the way with the screen in the back. Let me just give you the full view of the robot. So that's the top. Let's see. It's kind of hard with this computer, but that's basically the robot.
Karsh, can you get Arvis running on your laptop and show them back at the moment, perhaps?
It's gonna take a little bit of.
Yeah. Okay, so in the meantime, I'll ask some more other questions. So do any of you guys have more questions now that you've seen the robot?
Does it have a wireless charging?
So it has a docking station, though it's not here right now. Right now, it's being plugged in manually. It's something that's going to be in the store that you live this week. So basically the robot will go home and dock, kind of like how a Roomba or any of the other household robots would do. It'll go back and it's basically going to follow a laser line on the ground that it sees and track that to its docking station and will sit there and charge. And once it gets it full charge, it'll go back out the floor. So that's part of that full-time phase I was telling you guys about earlier. The robot's about to go from what it is right now to running threads all the time. Because currently the robot runs 2 to 5 in the afternoon, on weekday afternoons. It's a part-time robot. So and it'll be really full-time shortly afterwards.
How does it deal with multiple users at one time? Let's say it's going off to find a hammer and somebody else interrupts it. What happens in that case?
So right now it's going to go unless the person presses the cancel button in that front part. It's going to wait till the person gets out of the way, or let's say it's stuck. If they hit cancel and then do it, then the robot will then start interacting with them. But for the most part, what we have to keep in mind, the reason that this doesn't happen all that often is because generally when the robot is leading someone to a location, those people are physically behind the robot following it. So if someone else tries to kind of use it, they can say, "Oh, it's taking us to this certain place," and which is what usually happens. Most of the time, people are kind of like, "Oh, what is that? What is that? What is this thing that's moving around?" And they usually watch it, and the person who's following it currently explains that, "Oh, it's taking me in some certain place," and it helps you find the store. So for the most part, since there is also another human following it, generally they socially are okay with it, and not one person trying to steal it from the other person.
What system does it use for navigation?
Sorry, I didn't get that. Say.
What system does it use for navigation?
We use LiDARs, and ROS is the base of ROS is the back end, as I was explaining earlier on Unix. The LiDARs are the same stuff that's on the self-driving cars, and the LiDARs are, like I was saying, it makes it figures out how far you are from each wall and kind of gets an estimate position. Actually, if Harsh is ready with the harvest, it'll probably be a good explanation about what the robot sees of the world. You can see it.
I don't know if it shows you able to see those spots. So
can you guys see that on screen?
Okay. So I'm not sure how familiar you guys are with Harvest, but it's a simple tool that basically just shows what the robot is thinking. So what you see here is the map of the store. So we actually mapped out the entire store, so the robot knows the map of the store, and then it uses that map to figure out where it is in the store.
So the lines that you see along the top there those are essentially all the aisles at the back of the store. And if you can zoom in on the LiDAR section, you can actually see what those LiDARs are picking up. And right now it's in kind of the storage room at the back, which is where the robot's going to charge and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be kind of enclosed, but you'll see when you move it over. So the white and the red, those two lines, I believe the white one is the bottom LiDAR, because you can see how the red one mostly is going to the walls and stuff, possibly picking up maybe Carter's head. I'm not sure what's over.
This is basically showing what the sensors on the robot is seeing. The white dots are what the sensor down bottom, the LiDAR that we use at the bottom, that's what it's picking up. So as you see that movement, that's just my legs. So the robot is picking up my legs and can see it move. And so it's updated on the visualization app. And the red one is exactly the same thing, but it's on the top. So it's another LiDAR that's higher up. So actually, if I move my hand, you can see my hand being picked up as a red moving dot. So those are the two LiDARs that we use, and it's basically used to sense any obstacles that's in close proximity to the robot that we have to avoid.
Why LiDAR and not ultrasonic or infrared?
So LiDARs are, it's kind of in this class of robots, these service robots, they're extremely reliable. LiDARs, ultrasonics have kind of low range. For SLAM and all that kind of stuff, you generally do need LiDARs in the current state of things. We do have 3D sensors like Kinect and stuff on board, and we can use that stuff to build map, but it's a lot slower and much more limited in range. Whereas the LiDAR, the top one, for example, is a 30-meter range LiDAR, and the bottom one is a
10-meter range LiDAR. And they are quite expensive compared to the rest of the robot, but keep in mind these sensors used to cost more than 100,000, and in recent years they've dropped down to less than 10,000. So that's what really enabled this industry to happen. So we use LiDARs, the robots that are in the hotels, for example, the Starwood hotels, the Savio robots, those are also using LiDARs. Nightscope with the security robots, those are also using LiDARs. Generally, that's what the industry is using, but the prices are dropping dramatically, and this is primarily due to the self-driving cars because they all use the same technology. And with self-driving cars, the car companies can put in orders for 100,000 units, for example, and the price then drops for us dramatically. So instead of paying thousands of dollars, maybe it's only 1,000. And so they're extremely reliable though, and they respond very quickly. So as far as safety concerns, that's what kind of makes the robot safe to be around.
Also, actually, one of the biggest reasons LiDAR is used in like any autonomous navigation task is it has super high resolution and good coverage, good range. So I don't know if you noticed on the visualization that I showed you. Let me put it up again. So it might be hard to see on the video, but all those white ones they're individual dots. So the LiDAR themselves they have like angular they have a resolution of like 1 degree or 1/3 of a degree, it depends on the LiDAR you choose. So it offers very precise range and resolution information, and that actually it's really helpful because you get a lot of you can get 270 degrees of coverage up to 10-meter, 30-meter, depending on the LiDAR, and it provides very good angular resolution. So you can pick up, unlike an ultrasonic sensor, which is sort of not very discrete. It's very you won't really know the positional information where the obstacle is just by one ultrasonic sensor, whereas with the LiDAR, you can immediately tell positionally where an obstacle is located because of the resolution of the LiDAR. So that's actually one of the big reasons LiDARs are used for navigation.
What software do you use for language processing?
Sorry, can you say that again?
What software do you use for language processing?
So we have a speech library that we part. Okay, so this is a two-part question. So we have a microphone area on the robot. We're actually taking advantage of the Connect here to identify, get good acoustics and separate out noise. But then for the actual speech stuff, there's a company that we partner with that does the actual extraction of the sentence into natural language data. So you can say to the robot, like, I'm looking for this, or where can I find more screwdrivers or something like that. And it'll retrain that essentially to pick out the words screwdriver or hammer or whatever the most important sentence is. And this is something that gets trained over time too. Like we give it lots of examples and it learns more. So it's a live system. It's not just something that's fixed. And for example, it also is the same training is what helps us take, for example, when someone says that they want a 50-foot extension cord, and whilst they not necessarily like they can give a specific 50-foot extension cords, but we generally don't want to search down to that level, especially because the robot's going to take you to the extension cord section anyway. So even if you do find that exact extension cord on the robot, they're all going to go to all the extension codes are in the same place in the store. So what we do then is just extract the extension code part of it and go straight to the thing. We don't actually need to go down further than that.
So you mentioned that you're using ROS for your platform. Like, how many of the packages for path planning and navigation were you able to just use right off the shelf, or did you have to kind of write your own on top of those?
So it's a mix of all these things, and we, to begin with, we use majority of the nav stack that is generally available. The parts where we had to then add more to is where we kind of tailor it for our specific needs. So for example, robots, when you're putting down the end of an aisle, and the it doesn't matter
your sensors on. If somebody's running down the middle of the aisle and you can't see them because you can't see through walls, and you're going pretty fast, both of you guys are going to collide due to momentum. So what the thing to do there is it's not about getting more fancy sensors. It's just stopping at the end of the aisle, looking both ways before crossing the road. So it's kind of common sense in a way, but to teach the program to do that, but then we had to add our own stuff on top of the existing planning system and go from there to make the robot slow and rapidly miles and stuff like that. And add intersections basically. But a lot of the packages in the ROS nav stack were generally applicable for us. I mean, there was definitely a lot of tweaking and configuration involved, and there's a lot of parameters in there. If any of you guys have ever looked in the ROS nav stack before, there's a lot to configure and a lot of things you can do with it. But a lot of that nav stack we can actually use out of the box.
Do you have multiple processors inside, or do you have one main processor? What processors do you use?
We have multiple processors inside. The one that's running ROS is run an i5 class processor, and the one running the UI is actually an i3. At one point, we were trying to go for an ARM-based thing, but it's too weak in terms of processing power. So we switched out of that and went to personalized computers. And given that we have a physical robot, it's not a drone, and it's like it doesn't have to worry about weight, power, and all that kind of stuff. Well, we do have to worry about power, but by comparison, the screens suck up a lot more power than our computers. So then the actual CPU. I mean, so as far as that's one of the luxuries we have of a land-based robot that is has a lot of space and it's not miniature or anything like that. We can afford to have decent powerful computer support.
So is it ITX form factor, or are you using some COM Express or other embedded form factors?
Normally I don't say this stuff, but we're using it. It's if you've heard of the Intel, it's a very tiny processor. That's one of the computer support. We have separate this stuff.
Then you mentioned it's wireless. I mean, as much as we all hope we live in a perfect world, I mean, isn't there a chance for it to be breached if it's wireless like that? You have your own router attached to it?
Right. So the router, I mean, all the components on board connect via Ethernet to the router, but the router connects via wireless to the store. The Ethernet we've installed in the store. So we're using enterprise class, access points on the roof of the store, which are pretty powerful. And given that only our robots use that network, and it's not like a public network, which one is both for security as well as for just we want to have exclusive bandwidth and all that kind of stuff. We generally don't run into too much problems. I mean, it does drop out a connection, but the robot doesn't need a connection all the time. It only needs a connection when it's doing the speech recognition. And so while it's moving throughout the store, for example, it's not trying to understand what you're saying. It only has to do that when it's staying still. Generally, with enough time for the router to have a strong enough connection to the thing. And we could easily get away with just using a regular wireless card, but the router is overkill for exactly that reason that you mentioned, that wireless is not really the most reliable kind of technology to have. But generally, when you have two routers on either end and both have a 2x2 or 3x3 antenna on the other side, it's enough for it's enough redundancy there to make the robot work for the most part.
How do the people in this store know if the robot's tipped over or stuck?
So sorry, did you say it's tipped over? What did you say? Sorry.
How do the people in the store know if the robot's tipped over or stuck?
So generally, the robot you can't really push it over because it's super heavy. But with it being stuck, right now, for example, we are watching over the robot because it's not an adult yet by itself, so we are aware of what the robot's doing. As far as the robot getting stuck, the robot actually speaks out loud and says that he's really sorry, but he thinks it's stuck. So it says that out loud, and the customers can hear that. And
part of that social engagement, social element is one of the unique things about having this robot in the store. So that's something we've got a lot of experience with now, and lucky to have from this pilot.
What are some of the hazards or obstacles that it has trouble with, or have you eliminated all troubles?
No, there's definitely always hazards and stuff. There's, for example, a section of the store that has a really skinny aisle, and they would like to put a lot of promotional things right in the middle of it to make it even smaller. And but so that and like carts and things like that getting in its way obviously block its path. Sometimes there are things that are about the like long tables where they stick out in the middle, and the robot might get tripped on those kind of things. But we try and cover those with the connectors, additional sensors. With the lidars are at the top and the bottom, so everything in between. If something doesn't have feet and doesn't have is not tall enough, the thing somehow it magically sticks out in the middle there, then it could run into trouble. But we try to avoid those things with the connect. Cool.
Last question. Last questions.
Any chance I could pay with it?
Oh, that would be a good one.
Was there any interest in having like an NFC terminal on there, and Apple Pay or Google Wallet? I mean, a lot of people.
So yes, technology-wise, it's definitely plausible for us to do checkout. It's not a technology restriction, but in terms of how long it took us to get a robot, get through legal and stuff, to just get a robot in the store, it would have taken maybe 3 times as long to be able to handle payment and stuff in a retail store. When you bring new technology into something where the cash registers are from the 80s, it's kind of a really hard logistical thing in terms of getting through the legal side of a big enterprise company. So it was we were ambitious enough to get robot in there. Getting the rest of it in there, getting checkout and stuff will be something we can do in the future. But at the time being, we're okay with letting that one go for now. And also, there's like security and stuff involved too. What if someone takes it and doesn't check out properly and steals products and things like that? So there's a lot of things to think about.
Okay, thank you very much, Davidu. He went to UCSD for a year, right?
Yeah, actually, I was there for my 3rd year at university. I was at UCSD, and I don't know if any of you guys go there, or how many of you go there. But I was at iHouse for a year on exchange. I grew up in Australia. I went to university there, but I came to UCSD for a year, and I was at the engineering school and everything. So it was cool.
All right. Thank you. Maybe you should come down and visit us in person. I'll show you some of the people that were hiding here. You guys can say hi. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you both, and hope to see you in the future in San Diego.
Yeah, if I'm in town, I'll definitely go by.
All right. Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
guys.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye.
All right. Thank you.
Oops. All right. So I guess it was fairly successful for first
At the end, the audio quality went way up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
The aggregation in the area went down.
So yeah, all right. So I guess that's it. Next week we'll be doing happy hour. So I look forward to seeing you guys there. We are launching our Kickstarter campaign next week at that day. So yeah, please spread the words, and look forward to seeing you guys next week. Feel free to just hang around. Today we don't have speaker, but still have a lot of interesting people here. So. And Levi got married last weekend. Congratulations.
You did very